Hey, what's up, good people? It's Jay Ray, the co host of Q Points, and I wanted to come to you because there are two really important ways that you can support our show. One is by subscribing to it wherever you listen to or watch your podcasts. Q Points is pretty much everywhere. The other thing that you can do is you can visit us on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, and on Podchaser, and you can leave us a star rating. Please rate us 5 stars because you know you love Q Points. And on Apple Podcasts and on Podchaser, you can actually leave us a written review. It's not required, but it really does help to spread the word about the show, and it helps people to discover it as they're looking for new podcasts to listen to. We're always appreciative of you supporting Q Points. We thank you so much for all that you've done for us so far, and enjoy the show. Oh, can we hear DJ Sir Daniel? I think we can we hear you? I don't know what happened. It's fun times. We're gonna work it out while DJ Sir Daniel is working on his sound. Welcome to Q Points. We are back for the new year. As you can see, we are refreshed. We are here, and this is the I think he's
Can you
coming.
hear me? Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. It's got a hum, but I can hear you. No, you went out again.
Mm.
No, you're back. That's perfect.
Mercury just be retrograding around here.
I'm gonna let DJ Sir Daniel do his thing. I'm trying to intro and I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh no, it's quite all right because that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to pivot. In 2023, it's all about the pivot. Listen, welcome back to Q Points, your favorite podcast for all things Black music related, and showing love to the creatives that have made such an impact on Black music history. We are Q Points, dropping the needle on Black music history. Again, I am DJ Sir Daniel.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? My name is Jay Ray, also known by my government as Johnny Ray Cornegay the Third. What's happening, people? Happy New Year. Y'all scrolling on the chat and stuff. We got new stuff happening here.
Listen, I see Mark McPherson in the building. I see Trey Dixon in the building. Big Mike is holding us down. Corey Gomes from the is holding us down as well. This is a lot of love. You guys have really been missing us over the over the holiday break, so we're very appreciative and very glad to be back. J Ray, I almost forgot what my intro sounded like, so that's probably why I'm it's a little nervous. I ain't been around y'all in a second. And then too, we've been doing however comma, and so I haven't had to have my sensor on as much as we do here on Q Points. So I gotta watch my language tonight, y'all, because if you haven't seen however comma, you are missing out. That's where the juice and all the tea is being poured. So
Absolutely. So check it out, y'all. So a couple of things. Y'all got to subscribe. So if you want to see however comma, where we have all the conversations over there on however comma, it is way more unfiltered. In fact, next Monday, I got some stuff I want to say about R. Kelly. And we're going to say it on however comma. So if you trying to figure out what does J Ray have to say, you should definitely subscribe. And you can subscribe at qpoints.com. Hit the subscribe button if you become a Insiders Plus or Max member. You can join us for however comma live on our website. Chime in, see what we have to say, and we get to see what you have to say as well. So make sure you join. If you love Q Points and you're just like, oh, I just want to support these guys. These guys are great. You can leave us a tip. Go on over to Patreon, hook your boys up, leave us a tip over there. We are really appreciated. And so Wani, that's hilarious. Wani said, I have seen, however, comma, I was shocked. It's a different show.
I know. Who knew J Ray had such a potty mouth, right, Ronnie? Come on.
It's hilarious. So, and also visit our store. Make sure that you hop on over to the Q Point store. Listen, we got to keep this train running. And the way that we do that is through your support. And one of the ways that you can do that is by hopping on over to the Q Point store and making a purchase. We have shirts, t-shirts, hoodies, hot mugs. My mug is not in this room right now. Slip mats, which are updated. We got new logos and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that you can do over there. So if you want the show notes from this show and all of our past shows, go ahead and join the Q Points newsletter. We will be putting additional stuff in there that you can only get by joining the newsletter. So if you're not already on it, go ahead and sign up for the Q Points newsletter so you could get all the the behind the scenes stuff for what we talk about on each show.
Absolutely. So like J Ray was saying, it's been a while. We've been on holiday break. You've been, for those of you who have been riding with us, you've seen us go out of town. We've been traipsing through New York, through Philly, through, record shopping in the Lower East Side and going on various trips and excursions. But I am very glad to be back home, sitting down, chatting with each and every single one of you, because this is one of my favorite things to do. Like J Ray said in However, comma. And before I forget this, J Ray, if I could reach through this camera right here and reach over your shoulder and grab that LP, you know what I'm talking about. When you posted it on your stories earlier this week, I was like, I know he didn't. And did you get it from where I think you got
no,
it?
I ordered it from Discogs.
Okay.
Because I didn't go back to A1 when I was back in New York. I've been to New York a lot over the last over the holiday, but so I ordered this off of Discogs. This is a great copy.
Yeah,
it is well maintained. It's a promo, of course. So they only, looks like for the LPs, they only did promos because I guess, cassettes and CDs. But what I found interesting, so this is Antoinette's second and final album to date, Burning at 20 Below. And I will tell you, Sir Daniel, what I found really interesting listening back to this is how much I enjoyed the street side. I don't know that I have fond memories of this. I didn't have fond memories of this record.
Yeah.
Right. And I think it was a lot of stuff that went into that. But listening back, I was like, oh, the street side is really solid. I haven't even gotten to the Jack side yet.
The street side is what I really wanted. What I knew the rest of her career could be. She had like so much dope production from Mantronics and IG off and the rest of that crew. And I mean, okay, if you have an opportunity, just look up the Fox that Rocks the Box.
Yep.
And Take It From the Top.
Take It From the Top is a banger.
Is a sick flow, a sick beat, all of the above. But so yes, this is what I missed about Q Points, because this is what J Ray and I will do. For those of you that might be new, this is what J Ray and I will do. We talk about music, we talk about obscure references, just a lot of talent that goes unnoticed. We believe in giving people their flowers. And over the past weekend, we've had to give out a lot of flowers. We had to give out a lot of flowers to a lot of people who paved the way in this music industry and in journalism, because as J Ray and I pointed out in However, comma this past Monday, we had to say goodbye to media giant and pioneer Barbara Walters. We also had to say goodbye to the founding member and, of course, just an all-around sister and awesome singer, Anita Pointer. And sadly, it was all rounded off by the unexpected passing of Gangsta Boo, who I really think all of us were really taken aback. One, because of how young she is, and two, because of all the speculation of how she died. Because we all know that this whole fentanyl epidemic is going around with people who do all kinds of it's not just cocaine, it's not
Hmm.
just pills. It could be something as innocent as you think, as marijuana,
Hmm.
as weed, and people are lacing everything with fentanyl at
Hmm.
times. And so it's just a precautionary tale. I really, really hate that it happened to her, especially because she lost a great friend and partner in DJ Speaker Fox.
Hmm.
And I think it's been about 5 years now since, maybe
Has it
3
been
years
that?
since Speaker
Yes, it looks
Fox.
like, yeah, like 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years
Wow.
since she passed away due to an overdose herself. So it's like I just really want our young people in my generation to really just be careful out there, whatever you're doing, because we can't stop people from doing what they do
Hmm.
recreationally, but be very careful because it's weird out there. Young people are putting all kinds of stuff in the um in the party packets that the people are using. So let's just be careful out there. But
Yeah.
I think, and you've already, like I said, we had an in-depth, great conversation on however comma J Ray told you how you can be a part of those conversations and listen in on them. I think we had a great time doing them on IG Live as well.
Hmm.
That was a great way of us checking in with each other as well. So I'm just really glad that we had that opportunity. And earlier, I don't know if you saw in that wider shot of my studio just now, but I had can we just go? Okay, this right here. Listen, let me tell you something. This is one of my prized possessions right here. Since J Ray is pulling
Woo!
out pulling out dope records, this is one of my prized possessions right here from none other than the doll herself, Dionne Warwick. J Ray, please tell me you finally saw the documentary because I've been dying to talk to you about this documentary.
I have seen the documentary. Okay, but before we talk about
Finally,
it,
all right.
that Dionne Warwick album, Sir Daniel knows this. That is my favorite Dionne Warwick album.
Heat,
Is so funky, top
heat,
to bottom.
heat.
Dionne, that woman. So I saw the documentary, and that woman. You want to talk about pioneer? We always talk about we throw around words like legend, and we throw around words like
Icon
pioneer,
and
and
iconic and yes.
this woman is that living. She is that. So, what did you think? Tell me what your thoughts are on the Dionne Warwick documentary, Sir Daniel.
I literally sat there the whole time looking at my television like this. I mean, I was completely enamored. First of all, Dionne Warwick has all the faculties are together.
Mm-hmm.
She's a hoot. Okay, so when she's telling stories, she could just be telling me what's if it's raining outside, it'll make me giggle because her delivery is just that funny to me. It's just that hilarious to me. And I, like you, there were a lot of different stories that she was telling that I had no idea about. She was not to be played with. She didn't play with the Jim Crow laws that were in effect. She didn't play. She didn't care about white people not turning her. If you haven't seen it, there's a scene in there about how if you were performing in these segregated clubs, but they had one side with all white people and another side with black people, you weren't supposed to turn your back to the white people. And clearly, Dionne was not about that life. Dionne was like, I'm playing to the people that look like me, and completely turned her back on them. She was that girl way back then. I love the whole glamour aspect of Dionne Warwick because she was like one of the early sex symbols, you know, of pop music. Because she had that opportunity to work with Burt Bacharach and have her records played everywhere, she became a pop sex symbol, one of the first. And that I don't know, that has to be do something to a young person. That has to be an immense responsibility because you know that especially young girls are looking up to you. I love the story about Marlena Dietrich taking her shopping, and finding out what couture was. I mean, those kinds of things. I love those kinds of stories. How Marlena Dietrich looked at all her clothes and was like,
The closet
trash,
tossing. He's like, no, you
trash.
must be couture. I said,
She's like,
yes.
this is like trash. That's a trash. I can hear her now, just throwing stuff out. And just imagine this little girl from Newark, New Jersey, being on and flown out to Paris and having Marlena Dietrich,
Mm-hmm.
a huge movie star, a white woman at that, just taking you under her wing and just taking you all around Paris. And that whole legacy of Black artists having to go to Paris and having to go to Europe to blow up is just a reality. It was just one of those things that you're just like, wow, they really had to go way across the Atlantic, go across the pond to blow up in Europe in order to be accepted back home and to become a Grammy nominated, a Grammy winner at that.
The
I just loved all of it.
Isn't it like the first, so that, running it down, and y'all should definitely go back and check out, I think it's show 41, which you can watch for free. So even if you're not a Q
Yes.
Points member, you can go back and watch that show for free on YouTube or on our website. But the first Black woman to win a Grammy in the pop category,
Yep.
Dionne's, and I texted Sir Daniel, Dionne's gospel stuff is a mood, okay? Because, and we forget, because of the songs that Dionne was singing, that her history is in gospel and in the church with her family. And she was a premier vocalist, right? So this film got the opportunity to kind of explore that part of her legacy as well, which is not something that we talk a lot about. I love that. I absolutely adored when we really got the opportunity to explore her commitment to excellence. She went to college. She went to college and studied. So she comes to music with a deep knowledge of music. So Alicia Keys was telling that really interesting story. She was like, listen, Dionne Warwick can sight read music and perform it. She can look at the notes and then sing them by sight. And Alicia was like, that's very hard, right, to do. That's how keen that ear was. Loved hearing that. The moment, of course, when you get into 1979 and so the Barry Manilow, so she signed with Arista Records, and at that Grammy, I think it was the 1980 Grammy Awards, where she won 2 Grammys. She won one in the pop category and a whole other award in the R&B category. Let that sit. Like, you have one woman who is winning a Grammy in 2 separate categories for the same album on the same night. That is enormous. And I think the last thing that was a key to me was her bringing like the whole death row camp to her house and then shading them.
Listen, my sons, I got 2 sons and they know I'm crazy. That when she had that conversation, she was like, I can imagine her just saying to Suge Knight, you, my house, 7:00, and don't be late. Like, that's Suge Knight at the height of his superpowers. So he's big and scary, probably wearing blood red everything, and having them come to her house. But I think all of that, she transcended all of that because she represented mother. That was still the generation that we come from, where we still kind of respected. We knew who she is. They knew who she is, and they knew that they respected her because they respected their mothers, because they knew their mothers and family loved Dionne Warwick. They grew up with her. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if I think people would respect like a Patti LaBelle if Patti LaBelle told Young Thug, hey, listen, baby, stop, well, when you get it back from trial, come see me. She probably could say that, but there's not a whole lot of contemporaries that would do that
Mm-hmm.
now. You know what I'm saying? So you have to respect her gangster. Just and of course we sung her praises time and time again on Q Points regarding her advocacy
Mm-hmm.
early on in the AIDS crisis,
Mm-hmm.
and how that's less. She's never taken a dime from the proceeds of that record. That's what Friends are for, and Amphar is still operating off of that money.
In the tens of millions of dollars. Let that sit. Clive Davis was like, "You're about to give away your proceeds for your biggest record of your career." You just
Shoot.
so knowing that that was a commitment that she made, and listening to them calls when Gladys Knight said, Dionne called and said, I needed to be down at the studio at about noon. Stevie's already on it. And so Gladys was like, well, I guess I'm on it too.
Okay, girl. Okay, girl. I'll be there. Can you imagine that phone call? Hey, Hussy, what you doing?
You
Well,
know that's
later
what
for
she
all
said.
that.
Hey, Hussy,
Later
what
for
you
all that. Later for all that. Meet me down to the studio. Not in 30 minutes. Yeah. I don't care what you're wearing. Just meet me down to the studio in 30 minutes. Elton's on his way too. Can you, I love foolishness like that. So that resonated with me as well. So I definitely appreciated all of those aspects of who Dionne Warwick is. And the best part, J Ray, is the best part is that she got to sit there
mm-hmm.
and participate in this telling of the story and is still here to watch it and receive all those flowers. This doesn't have to be posthumous. We can start giving people their flowers now. So I live for that aspect. Like J Ray said, you can probably go on demand,
Mm-hmm.
wherever you are, and or probably go online and you can watch the documentary in its entirety. It's very entertaining. It's the best. It's the
I
best. I
agree.
think that might be since the last documentary we watched together was the Janet documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Holt stands right up there with that Janet doc. Maybe not
Absolutely.
as salacious, but still, it's right up there. It's good.
I
It's really good.
agree. Please, y'all go check that out. And I promise y'all will totally enjoy it. So we're about to have a really interesting conversation in a sec. But Sir Daniel, you did something really fun. So I'm gonna let you set this up and then we're gonna do it and then we're gonna have our combo.
So, J Ray, of course, everybody tonight's show is about, as you can see, is about the Schoolhouse Rock. So, J Ray and I were discussing the fact that we are in the 50th year of hip hop. And we
Mm-hmm.
were talking about all of those things that make the culture what it is and the people that added to the culture that are a part of it, the things that we experience in those 50 years. And the thing we came up, we were like, you know what? A lot of public television had such an educational impact, has such an educational leaning that it in fact has impacted hip hop as well. And one of the things that we saw was that this is also the 50th anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock. Schoolhouse Rock has influenced some of your favorite rappers. And what I would like to present to you right now is a dramatic reading of one such hip hop artist. And I want you to guess who the artist is if you are watching this in the chat. And please go ahead and put in your guesses for who this is and just enjoy Q Points Masterpiece Theater. I am a bill. Yes, I'm only a bill. When it's time to ill, I get ill. And time to chill, I chill. My homeboys told me this is the daisy age. I took it as meaning you have to get paid. You hope I'm from your borough because I'm thorough. You want me to be down with you, be seen walking around with you, go to the store and buy a brew, and rock a rhyme or two so you can bite it. You taste it, you like it. You think I'm sleeping on you? Please, don't even try it. The name is The Scene, It Is Mine. The 45 King keeps the beat and the rhyme while I rock the rhythm and keep it blowing out. So don't try to turn me inside out. Mhm. What can I say? We are multifaceted around here.
And I think we have a Sir Dane, do we have a winner in the chat?
I see two winners in the chat, and they're absolutely right. It's definitely Queen Latifah. The song is Inside Out from her debut album,
All Hail the Queen.
All Hail the Queen. I blanked out for a minute. All Hail the Queen. And yes, I even gave y'all a blues clue today of who that is. But yes, Inside Out, absolutely. That is the song. Queen Latifah and quite a few rappers used or were influenced by Schoolhouse Rock, because what a lot of edutainment television gave us was a lot of learning associated with music, because they know children learn better with music. And then we had a whole generation of latchkey kids, this one right here, that spent a lot of time in front of the television, and they knew our parents had to work and we're doing this and that. So a lot of the program was geared to that, and I think we are better off for it. But J. Ray, let the people know all these. You have some facts for them.
I have
about
facts.
Schoolhouse Rock.
Yes. So we are going to talk about 4 quick facts about Schoolhouse Rock that we thought were really important. And then I feel like we're going to spend some more time on the hip hop component of this, because there are even some things that I'm going to mention in here that will lead us right into that conversation. So
yes,
first and foremost, okay, so Schoolhouse Rock premiered on January 6, 1973. So tomorrow is officially the 50th anniversary of Schoolhouse Rock. It appeared on a show called Curiosity Shop. I wasn't able to find this. I'm sure it's on YouTube. But the very first song that premiered was 3 is the Magic Number. Remember that, because we're going to talk about that in a second as it relates to hip hop. 2, the Grady Tate sound. Okay, so Schoolhouse Rock, so there was a lot of musicians, songwriters that made Schoolhouse Rock happen, right? So one of those folks was Grady Tate. Grady Tate, master musician. He was, in 1963, he became the drummer for Quincy Jones's band. I call this number 2 the Grady Tate sound because there was literally something called the Grady Tate sound. He was that important as a musician. But on Schoolhouse Rock, he sang. He actually sang 2 really popular songs. So I Got 6 and my favorite, Naughty Number 9. So that is Grady Tate. It's a very bluesy thing. So that's my second quick fact. Third quick fact. Figure 8 has a hip hop life all its own as a sample. So it's appeared on numerous hip hop songs. We're going to talk about a few of them in a second. But from PM Dawn to Will Smith, Figure 8 has been in a lot of places. Okay. And my last quick fact about Schoolhouse Rock is that there are actually 7 total seasons. They all have rock in the title. So the original run of the show was from 73 to 84, 85. And then they brought it back again in 1994, and then they brought it back again in 2009. So the 7 seasons are multiplication rock, grammar rock, America rock, science rock, computer rock, and money rock and earth rock. So those are my 4 quick facts about Schoolhouse Rock. But I want to go back to figure 8 really quick. Well,
Yes.
first I want to go back to 3 is the magic number. 3 is
Come
the
on,
magic number.
guys.
Yeah. So
If you don't already know this, come on. It's bubbling. Go ahead, Jay Ray. I'm sorry.
So 3 is the magic number. We just got an announcement from this group this week that their music is finally going to be on streaming in March. But De La Soul, track 2 on their very first album uses the line 3 is the magic number. Hip hop, right? So rappers learning from this show. It's a thing. So figure 8. Here's the songs, and here's just a few of them, y'all. Because there's like a lot. Tame One's Concerto, Will Smith's Afro Angel, which I didn't know that song until I was researching this show. It was during the Wild West year, that movie year. You remember how that went?
Okay.
Princess Nokia did it on Goth Kid. The Fugees' The Score uses figure 8 throughout it. The song The Score. And I first became aware of figure 8 because I had heard it as a kid, but the sample first appeared for me in a place that I remember on PM Dawn's, my favorite PM Dawn record, which is Jesus Wept. And it's the intro. They use figure 8 in the intro. So this whole Schoolhouse Rock thing and hip hop, like, it's intertwined.
It's real. But it makes sense though. Again, we're talking about the sampling generation of hip hop, the golden era. Those ingenious kids that started sampling and whatnot grew up in front of that television watching Schoolhouse Rock and having ideas spark in their head for these dope rhymes and these dope samples. So it just makes total sense that we have this intermingling of Schoolhouse Rock and hip hop, but we also used a lot of other different aspects from different PSAs, from different television shows. We were just talking about when in light of Anita Pointer's passing away, how the Pointer Sisters are all over. Well, they sang the theme song to that number song, the number track, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
11, 12.
Yes. 12. And I still don't know. I'm surprised that nobody has sampled it, and I could be wrong. If somebody has sampled it, please let us know in the chat or shoot us an email. But that song is widely respected by hip hoppers. A lot of we learn how to count from Sesame Street. We learn, anybody that is on Sesame Street, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, 321 Contact, the Bloodhound Gang, you can hear references in people's rhymes, in the songs, all from that wave of educational television from the late 70s to the mid 80s. And one of my favorites, J Ray and I were going through all these older these PSAs. One came up in particular. This is, sing it, J Ray.
No, you have to.
Serious.
Yeah,
I gotta finish it. This is serious. We can't make you delirious. I'm not gonna sing the rest of it because you all know what that is. But it was actually a PSA, and I think if you did not grow up in the yes, she did sample it in the Many Moons. You're absolutely right, Mark. Thank you for reminding me of that. Janelle Monáe sampled the pinball number count in her Many Moons song. That's absolutely correct. And but yes, that Blue Pills PSA, if you grew up in the tri-state area in the 80s, you had to have seen that PSA of the little Muppet pills warning you about taking these pills that aren't prescribed to you and that could lead to death or getting really sick. And then fast forward 15 years later, the Busta Rhymes turned it into a hip hop hit. This is serious.
It was delirious. Yeah. Like that, thinking about the idea, we, to your point, Sir Daniel, like we take in all of these things as kids. We took in all of this information. So it was only natural that it was going to come out in some sort of way in the music and how we communicated, because kids, we know that kids learn well from song. Like there was always, remember, you probably remember this as a kid, but I know I definitely did. My mom was like, you can remember them song lyrics, you should be able to remember these multiplication tables.
Wait, my mom would pick me up from school, and if the radio was playing and I'm singing along to Michael Jackson or something, she would turn the radio off. All right, now start doing your timetables now. And I would have to recite all the multiplication timetables from the time we left school to the time we got home. Yes, she did not play about that, but you're absolutely right. It was just, that was just, I think that was a thing that all parents did at the time. But we just learn rhythmically.
Mm-hmm.
If there's a rhythm to it, our bodies are able to record that, are able to absorb that kind of information quicker.
Yeah, I'm curious to know, and certainly parents, if you are watching this, drop it in the chat. But if you are listening after the fact, definitely let us know. Neither Sir Daniel or I, neither Sir Daniel and I are parents, in particular parents at all, or parents of young children. What do the kids do today? Do they have something similar? Because we're talking about Schoolhouse Rock turning 50, but what we have to also acknowledge is that Schoolhouse Rock was born out of the success of Sesame Street. Sesame Street
Yeah.
premiered in 1969. It was actually I think the president of ABC saw the success of Sesame Street and was like, we need something like that on our channel. And that's how Schoolhouse Rock was even born. Well, that was how Curiosity, the Curiosity Show was born, and then Schoolhouse Rock kind of came out of that. So Sesame Street really was like the one that everybody was trying to be, and Sesame Street is still on today. So we do know that the kids have Sesame Street, because Sesame Street is still on.
They have that.
But yeah, like that's powerful.
I don't know if they have like Electric Company, which gave us stars like what is the gentleman's name that has been acting forever? Mr. Morgan Freeman.
Oh,
Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman was a star on Electric Company. Rita Moreno was on Electric Company a lot, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, "Hey You Guys" is used in some way or form or fashion in a hip hop song. I don't quote me on it, but I'm almost positive that song is sampled, and there were lots of skits that people sampled off of Electric Company. But again, I just think somebody was onto something. They knew that the divorce rates were going higher, and they knew that a lot of children were spending a lot more time in front of television. And they had TV meals, so people were making money off of television as a culture. So they had TV meals, and things were built around people watching more television. But then you had this other side of people that were like, hey, if we gonna have the attention of all these kids, let's do something worthwhile. And wow, we really benefited from that. And you're absolutely right, J. Ray. I'm wondering, what do the young people have now? I mean, aside from Sesame Street, God bless them, they're still there, and they're still, some people have problems with Sesame Street because of the messages that they think they're pushing. But I mean, I can't imagine not growing up and learning my social skills from a lot of these TV shows, and having them reinforce what we were being taught at home and being taught in school.
Yeah, I think the other thing that these shows gave us was an opportunity to see ourselves too. So even when you look at Schoolhouse Rock, you go back and the very first one, 3 is the magic number, you see animations of that represent different nationalities. So you see brown you see brown children as
Yeah.
well as part of that show. And it really, I know that for me, gave me an opportunity as a kid to be able to see other little black kids on TV being smart, like not just being funny or not just being a musician, but like sharing a message. And as a child, those things helped, I think, to shape me as a, intellectually. Certainly the music I was interested in, there was, and it continued. So I remember Ghost Rider, which was my first. Do you remember Ghost
Ooh.
Rider?
I didn't watch it, but I remember it in passing. Yes, I didn't watch it
Yes.
though.
So Ghost Rider for me was kind of, well, one, I was by the time Ghost Rider came on, I was into my teens, so I was kind of getting out of those types of things. But that was even taking that the ideas from Sesame Street and from Schoolhouse Rock, and then putting them in almost like a TV show format, right? So you had a little bit of these this foundation still built into it. And the other dope thing about Schoolhouse Rock is we were watching Three is the Magic Number and Figure Eight when we were kids, and those shows had happened like years prior.
Decades, yes, absolutely. You know, it's something that you said that I picked up on. Like you said, seeing ourselves on television and seeing ourselves animated
Mm-hmm.
was a big deal. That was a big deal to me. One I can't remember which TV show this was on, but I think all of us remember the little girl and her mom giving her some money to go to the grocery store. And when I want you to go to the grocery store, I want you to buy a loaf of bread, a stick of butter, and a container of milk. And the little girl had to memorize that order on her whole way to the market. And I just remember that helped with the with memorization.
Mm-hmm.
Little tools like that, you know, you think back on it, oh wow, they were teaching us how to remember things
Mm-hmm.
because we didn't have smartphones. We couldn't, you know, make a grocery list on our in our documents files on our phones or anything like that. And mom couldn't text us or call us while we were at the store. But something as simple as a loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter, those things stay with you. Look at that. I'm still saying it to this day. And just remembering how well drawn and the seeing the little black girl and her mom and going to the store and the older black gentleman working at the store interacting with the little girl. Those things have still stayed with me. And you know, help us, these mnemonic devices help us to remember things, help us to learn,
Mm.
and got our synapses firing at an early age. Now as we get as I get older, you know, the
I'm getting
synapses
older
ain't
too, child.
they're not firing as fast as they used to. So I might need to start tuning in back into Sesame
Right.
Street, and especially the count, you know, helping me to learn how to count again and do some mathematics and division and all that. But I this was important to us to again to celebrate the 50th anniversary of hip hop
Mm-hmm.
and Schoolhouse Rock because we all needed to know that and to remember that we have these memories because of people like Mr. Tate
Mm-hmm.
and you know the cast and crew of Schoolhouse Rock. So this is really dope. This is we listen. We set it off in a major way. Mark is in the chat and schooled us on. I didn't know that either. Marla Gibbs was the voice of the mother.
I
So
didn't.
we had
Yeah.
a lot of black actors getting work from these animated and children's series. A lot of people got their first start on these children's series. So
Man, this stuff is so important, y'all. Like this
so important.
history is so key. So one of the other things, couple of things. I'm glad we did this. I agree with you, Sir Daniel. Like this was a great way to kind of start the year. And we're setting y'all up for what the rest of the year is giving. As you can see, we got some refreshed visuals. We're working out these solo things where, you know, we'll switch it up a little bit for the live show. We're trying to pull some stuff together. So soon enough, I think we'll be able to figure all of those pieces out. But we're able to do this because of your support. The one thing I wanted to make sure that we mentioned is this year we are also going to be really, this 1988 stuff we about to do.
Mm. And y'all know
Y'all,
how I feel about 1988. That was my jam. But go ahead, Jerry.
listen, we have some stuff coming for you over this year that y'all are just going to want to tune in and be part of. And we need your support. So make sure that you stay up with Q Points. All right. So, as I mentioned earlier, if you want all of the information that for the stuff that we discussed in here, we're even going to throw in some videos, some of the Schoolhouse Rock videos that we're really into in there. Join the newsletter because it'll be coming out tomorrow in the newsletter, so you can check that out. Make sure that you go on ahead and support us by making a purchase for our Q Points store. And you could get whatever you want. You could get t-shirts, you could get hoodies, you could get a mug. Or if you just want to support us and be like, listen, I just want to show those guys that I really appreciate them, just drop us a tip over in our tip jar.
I want to shout out the homie John Redcorn for showing off his latest grab. He and his friends did like a late a special gift giving um moment over the past few days. And one of their gift purchases was a Q Points Boombox and Cassettes t-shirt and the limited edition tote bag. Oh, the tote bags are still up, right?
Toe bags, oh, the toe bags are for the holiday. They're down. Do y'all want to, let us know. If y'all want to buy a toe
Let us know.
bag, we'll pop them toe bags back up if you want one.
We might pop them up, but I was so happy to see our tote bags. People were giving the gift of Q Points, and that made my heart feel just feel 10 times bigger, like the Grinch. So shout out to them for allowing us to be a part of their holiday gift giving. And again, you know, look out for that De La Soul album. Comes out March
March. Yep.
March 3rd, 3/3/23. That's a big day.
Mm-hmm.
J Ray, do you realize that we were talking about De La Soul's catalog from our very first season of Key Points
Yeah.
from year one? Year one,
Yeah.
we were talking about that, and here we are, 2 years later, and it's finally coming out. Listen,
So
we got the foresight, man. We
so I
definitely
need to
got it.
look something up really quick. I'm not going to say it until I
Hmm.
confirm this. Give me 1 second. I
Okay.
just need stay
Sure.
with me, y'all. I am on my phone looking
While you're
up
doing that, shout out to Lorenzo is in the building. Lorenzo Venters,
what's
we see you.
up.
Thank you for
So
tuning in.
here's
Okay.
what's fascinating about
Uh-huh.
the De La Soul stuff showing up in March, third month. The show where we talked about them was show number 3.
Ooh. See all them threes, y'all.
Show them threes,
All them
show number 3. How
threes,
important is
threes.
sampling in music? That was the episode where we talked about De La Soul and their catalog. Q
Three
Points.
is the magic number. Three is the magic number. We should just end it right there, J Ray. Y'all, listen, if you want to know what's happening in the future, you need to stick with Q Points. You need to hit the subscribe button because J Ray and I are on it. We are on it. We are soothsayers. We are we are also keepers of the culture.
Mhm.
We are we gatekeepers, J Ray? I know that's been coming up a lot in the conversation. Are we gatekeepers?
No,
Because
we're
if
just keepers
sometimes
of the culture. I mean, we probably do need to be gatekeeping some stuff.
sometimes the gate needs to be kept.
The gate.
Again, like who in the hell left the gate open? I
Right.
find myself wondering that a lot lately, and yeah. So should we be gatekeepers? You all let us know. But I am so happy to see everybody that's tuned in tonight. As I always say, Jerry, in this life, you have a choice. You can either pick up the needle or you can let the record play. I am DJ Sir Daniel.
And my name is J Ray, y'all.
And this has been Q Points dropping the needle on Black music history. We'll see you next time.
Peace.